Ah, Moscow. The Red Square, Stalinist skyscrapers, the Kremlin, the metro, clean streets, beautiful sights, and a lot of great people. What's not to love?
Well, guys, the truth is that a lot of Russians are not very big fans of Moscow.
Как ты думаешь, люди, которые живут в регионах, в провинции, они вообще не любят Москву, недолюбливают?
Да, наверное, недолюбливаем. Потому что, Москва все под себя подмяла абсолютно. Что мы там не видели в этой Москве?
Let's talk about why that's the case.
Answering the real questions. So the first reason that we want to get into is actually Moscow's wealth, or the supposed dependency of Moscow's wealth on the regions of Russia.
Все в Москву, все потоки денежные стекаются, а наоборот в регионы там какие-то капли. Москва качает деньги со всей страны.
Now yes, we do need to understand that this is actually pretty truthful to some degree, but it has of course always been overblown by the people. See, the thing is, yes, Moscow, especially the center of Moscow, is a very well-developed city, the best developed city in all of Russia. Moscow spends hundreds of millions of dollars, and it is actually not that uncommon for something such as like the budget for Moscow's lighting departments for a single year to basically be more than the budget for like health services of a particular Russian region for that entire year. This is not a joke, this is actually how it goes down. And a lot of this dislike of Moscow and people, Muscovites, people who live in Moscow, from people from the regions also comes from the fact that most of the power, I guess you should say, is concentrated in the center. So in Moscow, a lot of people who live in regional cities, for example, like me, I come from Chelyabinsk, which is a regional city with over 1 million people. I've been living in my city for pretty much almost my entire life, and the development that city has seen in like 20 years is not comparable at all to what Moscow it was like, to how it changed in 20 years.
Уровень жизни все равно в Москве гораздо выше, чем в регионах в периферии.
And people that are stuck in regional cities, they do not feel like any of the money essentially that they're making, the taxes that they're paying, they don't feel like they're getting in on any of the development that the country is having, and they feel like Moscow and like St. Petersburg to a lesser degree are getting all the good stuff, the good bits. Because quite obviously in Moscow, when they change like the pavements tiles like 3 times a year, but in a city like Chelyabinsk, for example, there's not been any decent pavements made in like the last 7 years. You see where a lot of the pent-up anger in the people from the regions comes from.
Да, наверное, недолюбливаем.
Now let's get to point number 2 of why a lot of people from the Russian regions don't really love Moscow. And I think I would name this point overall the exceeding luxury, certain layer of pretentiousness, and also, I guess, presumptions about the people that live in Moscow. Here's the thing, you gotta understand that people who live in Moscow are just regular people. Has poor people, has extremely rich people, has the middle class, whatever. It's not very much different. However, in the eyes of a lot of people from the regions, it feels like Moscow is sort of the center of all the deplorable, sort of novo-rich, like non-likable rich people. You know what I mean?
Есть стереотип, да, что москвичи это какие-то люди, как сказать... Снобы. Ага.
Here's a good example for you guys. One of my favorite genres of videos on YouTube is like how much the outfit videos where people come up to people on the street and ask them how much the clothes and stuff and like jewelry that's on them is worth. And they always film these videos in Moscow, in like near one of the biggest department stores, which is very expensive and everything. And the people they come up to are usually, a lot of the times, are like super rich, super arrogant, wearing like a watch that costs more than some guy's entire savings, the amounts of money he's made in his entire life, right? It's like more where that came from. They have these rich kids.
Сколько тебе денег нужно для комфортной жизни?
Может, в месяц 1300 достаточно будет.
And when you look down in the comments, people are like, Jesus Christ, does Moscow have any regular decent people? They basically see, yeah, look at this, like this is what people from Moscow are like. They're rich, they're arrogant, I would never want to hang out with them essentially. But that's actually not what it's like at all. Those people that you see in those videos are like a very, very tiny minority. But nevertheless, people from the regions have that sort of mindset that a lot, if not most people from Moscow are like wearing freaking Rolexes and all this shit. It's not like that at all.
Да, именно вот эта вот лимита, вот это вот ко всем иногородним и такое отношение. Даже в Москве, я думаю, тоже очень много людей, которые, как говорится, из грязи в князи, да. Мы рады за них, как говорится, у них получается. И уже такое отношение ко всем приезжим, что вот тут понаехали. Им больше, может быть, повезло, что они родились и живут в Москве. Кому-то, наверное, меньше повезло. Москвичи. Они везде. Они могут себе позволить и на юг слетать на выходные дни, и за границу съездить по несколько раз в год. Мы себе такого позволить не можем.
But yeah, also apart from those like conceptions, or should I say misconceptions about the majority of people who live in Moscow, there's also another side to this argument as well, is that, you know, overall just the image of Moscow and the way it looks is like oversaturated luxury. Like when you go outside in the center of Moscow, dude, it is insane. Like St. Petersburg, we're in the center right now, you know, looks pretty cool, right? But it's nothing like Moscow. Like if we were in Moscow right now, you guys, I would show you what I'm talking about. There's like a freaking Ferrari, a Rolls Royce and shit on every corner. I'm not even exaggerating. I think I'm walking where I'm not supposed to. It's also sort of obvious in the city itself because it's very well maintained, and it is obviously in very big contrast to like the rest of Russia, or like especially like small regional cities, even big regional cities like you know, Chelyabinsk, my hometown, for example. So when people from the regions see like the clean and pristine streets of Moscow, they feel like that as if this is not real Russia.
Ты как бы не чувствуешь сильных улучшений, да, по сравнению с тем, как Москва улучшается, если проще, да?
Абсолютно не чувствую я этого.
Ну вот, понятно, да, понятно.
Now, the reason number 3 that I would like to point out is in general just the... Здрасте. There you go, Pizza the Great and his wife, I think, just said hi to me. That's nice. I didn't want to stop and talk to them because they might charge me money for it. That's what St. Petersburg is like, dude. Watch out. As I was saying, reason number 3 is wealth disparity. Living in Moscow, and especially renting an apartment and living in Moscow, is not affordable for like 90% of Russia's residents, pretty much. Like the prices for like a one-room apartment for rent in Moscow for a month is like as much as like my mom would make, you know, in a month. It is absolutely not an option. Also, because of COVID, it became even harder to travel there, you know, to go there. It's not as easy as it used to be. And even then, before COVID, for some people, it was just straight up not affordable.
Ты в Москве когда последний раз была?
Ой, очень давно, наверное, в начале 90-х.
Люди твоего возраста, да, вообще с кем ты общаешься, они вообще там часто бывают? У меня такое впечатление, что вот у многих наших людей из регионов, они там вообще не бывают, и им как бы до лампочки, да?
А что там делать? Просто так съездить в отпуск, у нас, как говорится, не такие большие заработки, чтобы поехать, да?
Даже поехать в Москву это банально дорого,
Даже
поэтому...
поехать в Москву просто там на какие-то выходные, то есть что мы там не видели в этой Москве?
So yeah, like I said, it's hard for a lot of people to even get to Moscow in the first place. Like the first time I visited Moscow was like 16 or 17, but now because of COVID, it's actually become even harder. And you know, usually people don't like what they cannot reach. You know, the more disconnected they're from something, the more they might dislike or hate it. So yeah, you might be making more money if you're from Moscow, but the prices in the city, they are also going to be inflated. So essentially, even if you're making more, you're spending more as well. And this is actually partially what I experienced just coming to Moscow, like for the first time as a tourist. I felt like I don't belong. First of all, I came from a low-income family and all this stuff. I had that anxiety, and also, you know, just being in Moscow and seeing these insane prices, which is just insane compared to like, you know, my hometown where I came from. It's like, it's almost like I don't want to walk into any of these restaurants. I don't want to walk into any of these cafes or do whatever because I just feel like, you know, I'm being economically outgunned over here, you know? And it's crazy because recently, you know, obviously, since, you know, I've been running this channel for a while, I've been making money. Recently, when this spring I went to Moscow, I was walking through the streets and I again felt the same feeling that I felt when I was like 17, 16 years old, whatever. I felt like I don't belong. And it's just really, really strange. And I feel like this is how a lot of the people that come from the provinces to the, you know, the central cities feel like. And here in, you know, St. Petersburg, it's less of that. You know, it's still, you know, obviously a way bigger city. It's way more exciting, way more interesting things here. And it is more expensive, but it's not to the level of Moscow, where it's just ridiculous.
Ну, вот мы только недавно на работе обсуждали с моими коллегами. Все сошлись во мнении, что лучше съездить в Питер, чем в Москву. Ну, что там, господи, Красную площадь посмотреть, в Третьяковскую галерею сходить. В Питере гораздо больше мест, куда бы можно было съездить и что-либо посмотреть.
Это интересно, да, если обратить внимание, все-таки тебе не кажется, что, ну вот, среди наших провинциальных людей, да, с регионов, к Питеру более лояльно относятся, чем к Москве. Москву как-то...
Да, даже и по разговорам, что, во-первых, в Питере и люди совершенно другие какие-то, как-то более такие добродушные и попроще, чем в Москве.
And you gotta understand me though that like a lot of people, like regular hardworking people from like the provinces, they don't really go to Moscow. They don't care about it. It's not in their life. They don't care and they don't want to be here because they don't love it. And I guess one of the last things I would like to point out is actually a little bit more lighthearted and something that people discuss all the time. I'm talking about the Moscow-St. Petersburg rivalry. Basically, if you're not a history buff, but St. Petersburg actually used to be the capital of Russia for a while, for around like 200 years before actually the Soviet Union started, you know, the Russian Revolution happened and the capital was moved from St. Petersburg to Moscow. So ever since then, you know, St. Petersburg has always been sort of the contender against Moscow for like the most important city. This just has created for a lot of banter that goes on between the residents of St. Petersburg and the people from Moscow. So yeah, even though St. Petersburg is very important, you know, it's a very beautiful city, people that are from here still feel slightly neglected compared to how, you know, the residents of Moscow are being treated. I guess you could say that. So yeah, a lot of people from St. Petersburg, you know, actually probably more than other regions, yeah, they love to shit in Moscow. I mean, even, you know, if you look at a lot of the studies that have been made around this topic and some statistics, St. Petersburg is one of the most Moscow-hating like regions or cities in all of Russia. Maybe this is actually probably exactly why I decided to move here instead of Moscow. As a provincial boy, like my inner, you know, dislike for Moscow was like so hard. I was like, nah, I'm moving to St. Petersburg. Screw this. But yeah, the St. Petersburg and Moscow rivalry, it's a tale as old as time. It's always been there and it probably will continue for as long as this country exists on this earth.
В советское время вот такое же было или нет? Скажем так, было ли сильное какое-то различие и было ли тогда еще отношение такое предвзятое у людей из провинции к Москве?
Я в те времена не ездила, вот она очень часто в командировки ездила. И вот она рассказывала, что могли заходить там в любое кафе, там, во-первых, цены были как бы не такие, да, примерно было везде все одинаково. Сейчас же просто невозможно куда-либо зайти, потому что цены, ну, просто нереально сумасшедшие.
То есть ты хочешь сказать, что не было большой разницы в ценах между, там, допустим, Челябинском и Москвой в советское время?
Так ее вообще не было.
Ее вообще не было.
Anyways, guys, I guess that is going to be pretty much where we're going to be rounding off this video. We took a nice little walk here across, you know, the center of St. Petersburg, seen some cool sights and discussed why Russians hate Moscow so much. You guys are probably wondering what my opinion of Moscow is, and again, I don't feel like I hate it. I feel like I know the city to a certain degree now. I know a lot of people there, you know, that are just great and genuine people that are no different, obviously, from the people that live in, you know, any other region of the country. So yeah, I don't hate Moscow, but of course, you know, since, you know, I came from nothing, started from the bottom, now we're here, you know. Since, you know, I'm a provincial boy, somewhere deep inside of me, there is a bit of that, like, Moscow dislike, Moscow, like, bitterness against Moscow inside my core that I just cannot seem to wash out yet. Maybe, you know, as time goes on, somehow I'm gonna be able to fix that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You know, make sure to let me down in the comments what you thought of it. And also, guys, if you have the same thing, like if you're from the UK, do you guys hate London? I think that's actually a pretty common thing that happens. Or I know that a lot of Americans hate like Los Angeles and stuff, which is not the capital, but it's like very important and everything, right? So yeah, guys, let me know if you guys hate your country's capital. I don't, but it's an interesting topic to discuss nevertheless. Again, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.